Good evening, students. We'll talk about the preparation strategy for GATE exam and ESC exam. I hope most of you might be in full swing with your preparation, and some of the people might have completed their preparation and started revision also, and the other people might be in full speed with preparation. That is required because the time is very fast approaching. Now September, October, November, December, 4 months are ahead of you in this year, and in the next year you need to completely dedicate your time for the revision. So 4 months are available. 4 months is very short time for the preparations. We'll talk about the transportation engineering comprising of all the parts. Today we'll discuss about preparation strategy for GATE exam and ESC exam. GATE point of view, the transportation engineering is having very good weightage, very good weightage. ESC point of view, okay weightage. Because ESC point of view, you have extra syllabus like tunnels, harbors, extra things are there. And GATE point of view, you get very good weightage here, and you get targeted questions also here. You can target the question. But the advantage of GATE is you never get memory oriented questions. Very rarely you will get completely crude theory oriented questions. Mostly they will ask you questions related to aptitude. What is the full form of GATE? Graduate Aptitude Test for Engineers. It is an aptitude test. They wanted to test your aptitude. They wanted to test your IQ level through the questions. Whether you are very good with fundamentals, very good with the logical skills, they wanted to test you in the GATE questions. ESC questions, especially I talk about the prelims now. ESC prelims questions are generally time-bound questions. They'll test all the skills of you because they wanted to take you to the topmost levels of the jobs in UPSC. To manage in such jobs, you require speed, you require IQ level, you require aptitude, you require memory, you require the shortcut method of answering the things. You need to simplify the things with accuracy, on time. So many things they'll check it with prelims questions. But GATE is mainly they'll check your aptitude levels. First we'll talk about the GATE strategy and in combination with the ESC prelims strategy. Coming to the GATE exam, out of 100 marks, you get around 8 to 10 marks from transportation. Around 10% out of the total is a very good weightage. Especially if you want to go to MTech structures or if you want to go to PSUs. If you want to go to MTech structures in the very reputed institutes, you need to concentrate mainly on the non-structural subjects like geotech, environmental, apart from transportation. Coming to geotech and environmental, transportation is an easier subject, and at the same time syllabus is less, you get more marks in that. Relatively this is easier compared to the other theory related subjects, non-structural subjects like GT and environmental. Even though the transportation is completely theory based subject, whatever you come across in regular curriculum is mostly theory based. Even the questions which are coming in regular exams, the semester exams are completely theory based questions, but in case of GATE exam, they are mainly numerical questions. Hardly one theory question of 1 mark may come from the transportation. If at all a 2 marks question of theory is coming, that will be application level, logical based aptitude level question. So be careful about the questions and be careful about reading the question, especially in these competitive exams, and selecting the answers. So there may be a chance of one theory question among 8 to 10 marks. Most probably 99% of the cases it will be on the lower side. 8 marks you may definitely get, whether it is in morning session or afternoon session, you get 8 marks. Now coming to the total syllabus, very detailedly given for the GATE exam. This is a present syllabus of GATE exam. You have transportation infrastructure is nothing but geometric design. In the geometric design of highways, apart from geometric design of highways, you have the geometric design of railway track. Also we have the simple geometric design of the airport, especially the taxiway and runway, especially for the calculation of runway length, airport runway length and little corrections. So the syllabus portion for railway and airport will be very small, only geometrical design, only one chapter you can say. Now next part is pavement design. In the pavement design they have included highway material and testing also. The third one is traffic engineering. The traffic engineering is having very good weightage for GATE point of view. This is elaborated syllabus given by the GATE authorities. And there may be a chance of critical questions which may come in traffic engineering. There may be chance of slight traffic jam in the question solving. Because most of the people in your undergraduate level, in your semester exams, the syllabus whatever you come across in traffic engineering will be very limited, not to the very vast extent. So there may be a chance of a remote question coming out of your bounds sometimes. But however, the geometric design part and pavement design part and highway material part will be easier. Directly within bound, within limits you get the questions. This is GATE syllabus of transportation. If I give you the syllabus at a nutshell or a glance, this will be comprising of 4 parts. First one is geometric design of highways and geometric design of railway and airport. So the total together will be coming around 3 to 4 marks. From the geometric design topic, you will get 3 to 4 marks. The geometric design mostly with the combination of few empirical formulae plus specifications and derived formulae based upon the engineering mechanics fundamentals. If you are strong in engineering mechanics and strong with little fundamentals of mechanics, and if you have memory to remember few specifications and then few empirical formulae, geometric design is done. You can get 100% of the, you can attempt 100% of the questions from the geometric design. Be careful, read the question carefully. Whatever is asked, you have to answer to that point. Sometimes they may ask you the answer in a particular unit. Be careful to see the unit and then give the answer with that units. Be careful to be, concentrated on the theory, the units. Next is, as I told you, the traffic engineering, 3 to 5 marks. Most of the times, the weightage of traffic engineering will be around 50% of the total marks allotted to the transportation. Next is highway material and testing, 1 to 3 marks. Mostly the theoretical questions may come from highway material and testing. If at all a theory question is coming, there may be chance of 1 mark coming into the picture. and numerical is generally comes from Marshall mixed design method. There is a chance of 2 marks. One 1 mark question and one 2 marks question together is not greatly possible from this area. Now coming to the payment design, you have flexible payment and rigid payment all put together 2 to 3 marks. Here you have to be careful about the specifications given in IRC, especially the relevant code books of IRC, latest code books. No need to go through all the specifications for the GATE exam. A to Z specifications are not required, but ESE prelims point of view, few specifications are required. And remembering all the specifications and recollecting all the specifications in the exam hall is not possible, unless otherwise you have real work in that particular area of the zone in which the specifications are being framed or asked. Now coming to ESE. ESE syllabus, you have slightly vast syllabus. You have highways, the geometric design is there, flexible and rigid payment things are added into that, traffic is also added into that. They have given in a crisp manner, but they can elaborate and go to slightly greater extents compared to what they have described here. In GATE exam, GATE syllabus, it is not like that. They have given the syllabus to the point, and going beyond the bounds in the GATE exam is generally not possible. But ESE exam, if they are saying traffic surveys, in the traffic surveys they can ask you anything advanced also. Maybe some codal specification also they can ask you. So for ESE point of view, the bounds or boundaries are not so firmly fixed. In GATE point of view, the bounds and boundaries are generally very properly, distinctly fixed. Now the railway systems it has given. So in the railway systems, apart from geometric design was there in GATE, as I have just now discussed. Here terminology of railway track and the other components of railway, planning is there, design is there. So this design is nothing but geometric design. Maintenance practices. In maintenance practices, they can ask you theory based questions. Track modernization. What are the elements you are adding to the modern railway track? So all these things are slightly vague parts, but there may be a chance of questions on this area also. Especially if theory questions of ESE are coming from that vague area, you can go by the process of elimination to pick up the right answer. So process of elimination is a better option rather than process of selection in ESE questions. Now apart from that, airports, almost the syllabus of GATE and ESE is similar, except layout. In GATE syllabus, the layout of airport is not there, but here the layout. Layout means what are different parts of the airport are there. Apart from that, planning and design. Design is mainly the runway length fixing and corrections of the runway and the taxiway, especially the exit radius of the taxiway they'll ask you. Almost the syllabus of GATE and ESE are similar in airport. The new things are the tunneling methods, especially the tunneling methods and the construction of tunnels in hard rocky soil and soft soil. Different methods, if you could able to list out, and pros and cons of different methods, if you could able to identify, that is more than enough in tunneling. And apart from that, disposal of muck, the drainage in tunnel, different drainage method, drainage elimination methods, the lighting provisions, the lighting and ventilation, the ventilation during construction, ventilation after construction during the maintenance process. All these things you need to go through. Theoretical based things will come in this area. Numericals are not there in this present area. Whenever you get a time, whenever you get a free time, just glance through the tunneling part of your syllabus from your booklets, from the booklets, just glance through, and important points you underline, and those important points you write separately in a short book so that you can revise that very important points in a quick manner before exams. And the same way, this harbor is extra topic for ESC exam, and that is not there in the GATE exam. So in harbors also various terminologies, we use it in harbors, and layout of harbor, layout of dock, layout of harbors, and planning of harbors. So here also they'll concentrate mainly on the theoretical parts. The theoretical parts, if you are thorough, there is more than enough. And however, the questions which are coming from tunnels and harbors are not very high, not to very high extent. One or two questions from tunnels from harbors together, otherwise maximum 3 questions from tunnels and harbors together may come in prelims of ESC. So whenever you get time, whenever you are feeling bored, just go through this. Just go through the tunnels and harbor topics and have a broader idea on this particular parts. Coming to the prelims of ESC, transportation will have entire transportation. The highways, railways, airports, harbors, tunnels, all together will be from 10 to 15 objectives. And this is at a glance the weightages. In 2020, the maximum 15 objectives came in prelims. 21, 12 questions, 22, 11 questions. Approximately, even on the lower side, 10 will come from all the transportation. So you can't say that this many questions will come from geometric design, this many questions will come from airport and all. They'll randomly ask you the questions. You can't say that this particular area is very important, definitely there will be question in prelims. That is not possible. You have to continuously read and get the specifications, and then manage to practice the things to get the perfectness in this particular area. Mostly theory based questions will come in ESC. Almost all the theory based questions, maybe the statements, maybe the match the following questions, maybe the assertion and reasoning type of questions. Especially in statements type of questions and match the following type of questions, no need to worry much about the things whatever all asked in the statements or the parts. If you could able to know correctly any 1 or 2 statements, if you could able to judge 1 or 2 statements, or if you could able to match 1 or 2 things in match the following type of questions, that is more than enough, especially in the prelims point of view. Simple formulae are required to by heart, especially be careful about empirical formulae. In the empirical formulae, you have to be very careful about what is the unit you need to substitute in that particular formula. Simple formulae, substitution type of numericals are generally coming in ESC prelims, substitution type of questions. And in that substitution type of questions, you should answer it without calculator. So rounding off, simple rounding off, and sometimes back substitutions, sometimes trial and error, sometimes with the units you need to pick up the answer. If you want to calculate and get the answer exactly to the point, it's time taking. So you need to use your logical skills to answer the numerical questions. My suggestion is don't answer the numerical questions in the initial stage of your ESC prelims. Because if you start answering the numerical questions in the initial stages, you waste most of the times by maintaining accuracy and all. So once you are spending more time initially, later on the pressure builds up. With the pressure, you can't work out the things perfectly. So try to solve all the simple statement type of questions, direct statement questions, match the following questions. After that, go for assertion and reasoning type of questions. Then lastly go to the numerical questions. If you have enough of time, go through that, and if you find a particular numerical is very lengthy, jump, leave it and jump. Sometimes jumping or leaving a question is an art, and most of the people, some people will be having lot of sentimental skills. Dear students, this is a YouTube live class. This is not a recorded class. It is available on live, and later on you can watch it. So this is a YouTube live class, please. It is open to all. So for ESC point of view, IRC specifications you need to by heart. Sometimes they are asking you questions from the remote corner of the code book also, but it is not possible to memorize all the specifications, all big tables, but there you need to use your logical skills to pick up the right answer. If the specification is very remote and they are asking you a critical specification which we can't remove, leave it. There is no need to answer all the questions and no need to attempt all the questions also. Our requirement is you have to be in the topper list. You need to answer maximum number of questions. If some critical questions are there, even the question setter sometimes may not be in a position to answer after some time lag if you ask them. So even the toppers also can't in a position to answer it. You have to habituate what to answer, what not to answer, what to leave. That things will come with practice. So you need to have rigorous practice with the questions during your preparation time. So how do you answer most of the questions? As I told you, most of the questions you need to answer by the process of elimination instead of process of selection. Especially in ESC prelims, time is a very important factor. For each objective, you have hardly 1 minute to 1.2 minutes of time to answer it. To read, analyze and answer, you have hardly 1.2 minutes of time for each question. If a very easy question is there, you can answer it in lesser time. There you can save time. That time you can use it for answering the critical questions of numericals at the end. So initially you need to maintain good run rate. Something very similar to cricket. If your run rate is very good in the initial stages of cricket, in the slag overs you get confidence. Even though you touch the ball, it goes to 6. So something similarly, you need to manage the time, especially in ESC prelims, in the initial stages. You should not waste the time. If a critical question is there in the initial stages, jump and go to the next question. Whenever you are jumping to that question, make a round to that question and go to the next question, because it is an offline paper. And immediately after you answer a question, immediately transfer it in OMR sheet. Thinking that I'll transfer all the answers at the end, it may be a big risky task. Whenever you answer a question, say suppose 13th question you have answered, in the OMR sheet round it off 13th. After that 14th question is a critical question, you don't want to answer it now in the first round, go to the 15th and answer it. So while answering 15th question, select 15th question in OMR sheet without missing it and round it off the appropriate answer there. Be careful. There are cases what I have observed, say if you miss the 14th question and going to the 15th question and you are in the OMR sheet, if you just jump or jumble, there ends the matter. There ends the matter. You need to again prepare for the next year. So be careful in the exam hall. Whatever might be the question you are answering should go into the OMR sheet. Question number 10 you have answered. You need to round it off for question number 10 only. Be careful about this point. So time is an important factor for prelims point of view. So try to make use of good run rate. Usually you fix initially all theory questions with one question 1 minute of time. If any fraction of time is added at the end, that gives you, that boosts your confidence. Now coming to the important areas where questions are frequently coming into the picture, geometric design. In geometric design, side distances are very, very important for us, especially the stopping side distance. Most of the questions in ESC prelims and GATE exam are based upon stopping side distance. Rarely questions will come in overtaking side distance. So concentrate more on stopping side distance. Usually the numericals will come from this stopping side distance in prelims point of view as well GATE exam point of view. Prelims point of view, OSD numericals are slightly rare case, but however GATE point of view they can ask you slightly typical questions of OSD. Afterwards, horizontal curves is another important area of geometric design. Be careful about the horizontal curves. They'll ask you the derivations are not required. They'll ask you mostly the various special cases of horizontal curves. Calculation of super elevation, normal super elevation with friction, and design super elevation, equilibrium super elevation, and what is the condition of stopped vehicle on super elevated roads. These cases you have to thoroughly practice it. So especially in horizontal curves, practice makes you perfect. Next, transition curves. The horizontal transition curves, simply the three cases, the centrifugal criteria or comfort criteria, super elevation criteria, empirical criteria, and there may be chance of a question on a shift. Go through. So formula, derivations and all not required. Derivation is required for your clarity, but formulae should be on your fingertips. Like that you need to practice, like that you need to rattu. Next, vertical curves, you have the two cases here, vertical summit curves, vertical valley curves. Summit curves are designed for side distances, all kind of side distances, and valley curves are designed for headlight side distance, the SSD during night time plus the comfort criteria. The formulae and all you need to rattu. Setback distance, for ESC prelims point of view, go through the simplified formulae. Simplified versions for the setback distance, whether it is a single lane road or multi-lane road, setback distance with simplified formulae is more than enough for prelims. Don't go for the full length formulae and derivations of that. But GATE point of view, they'll ask you questions very critically in setback distance. And in GATE point of view, they'll ask you multi-lane road and they'll ask you to find out the setback distance. Be careful about the setback distance for GATE point of view. ESC prelims point of view, simple approximate formulae more than enough. Extra widening, the mechanical plus psychological widening is important for GATE as well ESC. Very simple questions will come in ESC prelims. GATE point of view, they may ask you concentrate on the numericals. Sometimes they'll give you off tracking, sometimes they'll give you mechanical widening, and they'll ask you to calculate the total extra widening. So these are the areas you need to be very thorough with highway geometric design. Now coming to the geometric design of railways, speed calculation, various type of speeds, calculations are required, cant or super elevation required. Cant deficiency is very important. The main track and sub track, cant deficiency is important. Sometimes they may ask you questions on the transition curves of the railways also. Formulae oriented, be careful about these things. Very small topic, easy topic. Once you have the formulae on your fingertips and with little fundamentals of cant deficiency. So here few people may get confused. That confusion you can get it out with practice. Try to solve more and more number of problems in this area, more than enough for us. Next come to the airports. You have a very simple syllabus of airport, runway length fixing based upon the three conditions you might be knowing: normal landing, normal takeoff and emergency stop conditions. And those ICAO specifications you have to rattu by heart. Questions may come on that particular area: normal landing, normal takeoff and emergency stop or engine failure case. Next is runway length corrections. You might have come across the runway length corrections like elevation correction, temperature correction and gradient correction. The sequence is also important: first elevation, then temperature, then gradient corrections. And moreover, the numerical questions will come from this area. Try to be very careful. Practice is required on this. Exit radius of taxiway. You have three conditions here. One is based upon the comfort criteria, and the other is Horonjeff off-tracking criteria. Third one is empirical criteria. The empirical specifications are given for the supersonic aircrafts and subsonic aircraft. That is more than enough. So you can become master in this area with hardly 5 to 6 hours of time. If you spare on this area, you will become master. And you get mostly the direct questions, not much of twist. They won't go into remote corners. If a question is coming in ESC from the remote corners, we can't do anything. So don't target for the corners. Mainly while you are preparing, you need to target on the main area, main field. You should not miss the question in the main field. Remote corners you can expand and elaborate once you have good concept in the main area. Now coming to the traffic engineering, important for GATE exam point of view, okay for ESC point of view. And in traffic engineering, you can fix the questions very appropriately in GATE exam. You have macroscopic parameters like traffic volume or flow, density and speeds. So the relation between the definitions of the three parameters and the relation between the three parameters are required. Simple definitions. And next is microscopic parameters, small parameters like time headway, space headway. Time headway is reciprocal of traffic flow. Space headway is reciprocal of traffic density. Those things you need to concentrate. Peak hour factor is very important area where questions are very frequently coming in GATE exam point of view. Try to go through the peak hour factor. And capacity, there are two types of general capacity of traffic flow. One is the theoretical capacity and the practical capacity. Be careful about it. Under practical conditions, under ideal or basic or theoretical conditions capacities. Next is the speeds. Questions may come on the calculation of time mean speed and space mean speed. Be careful about it. For all the geometric designs and all other calculations, even though we use space mean speed, they may ask you questions on time mean speed. Time mean speed is a direct mean, space mean speed is harmonic mean. Speed distribution studies are very important again. You have different percentages of speeds. You remember? 15% minimum speed, 98% as the safe speed, 98% as the design speed, 85% as the safe speed, 50% as the median speed. That speed distribution studies, very similar to that of our sieve analysis in concrete lab. You need to do it. Concentrate on this area. Next is green shield model is very important area where questions are very frequently coming in GATE exam. In GATE exam, this is an area where questions are very frequently coming. By chance a question is missing in the morning session of GATE exam, definitely there is a chance of question on this area in the afternoon session. So very important area. Apart from the green shield, nowadays questions they are focusing on peak hour factor. Next is the rotary design, rotary intersection design. Once question came in GATE exam, but questions are very frequently coming in ESC as a theory. The capacity of rotary, the practical capacity of rotary depends on which parameters. Like that they'll ask you statement type of questions in ESC. Go through this. OD studies and moving observer method, was very important for GATE exam, but recently from 2020 onwards, this is not in the GATE syllabus. So, moving observer method, if you look at the questions prior to 2020 GATE, almost every year you have the questions on moving observer method of OD studies, and now it is not in GATE syllabus, but questions may come in ESC. So, this point be careful about it. Traffic signal design is another very important area, especially based upon the Webster's method. Direct formula usage, formula substitution and getting answer. Practice more and more on this area so that you should not miss the questions on this particular area. Especially the Webster's delay is also important. Either you can use the numerical method or graphical method. Webster's delay, don't delay to prepare it. You have to get the concept of Webster's delay, very important for us, very important. So, signal design, directly the cycle length calculation or Webster's delay. If at all a question is missing from the cycle length calculation, you get the question directly from Webster's delay for GATE point of view. And a few fundamental questions may come in prelims. And negative Poisson's distribution, especially to calculate the gap between the two successive vehicles crossing a section of road and all, is very important. You come across this negative Poisson's distribution and Poisson's distribution in mathematics, especially in probability and statistics part, you will get it. But they'll ask you questions based upon the transportation purview. Concentrate on this. This is very important for GATE exam point of view. You never get questions in this area in ESC prelims or mains, but very important for GATE point of view. So, traffic engineering point of view, these are the areas very important, but don't neglect peak hour factor, green shield model. Next is traffic signal design and Poisson's distribution, mathematical based areas. Next, coming to highway material and testing, theory part, story part. So, in highway material and testing, we have the three categories. One is properties of subgrade soil, especially we talk about CBR and plate load test, and property of road aggregate, various road aggregate tests like strength test, toughness test, hardness, water absorption, specific gravity, all the tests are very important for us. And the next is properties of bitumen. The properties of bitumen like softening point, then penetration test, ductility test. So, be careful about all. No need of going through the stepwise procedure of all the experiments. Just concentrate what is the aim of an experiment, what are all apparatus you are using, and what are all the specifications you follow as per IRC. So, what are the things you need to concentrate in highway material and testing? Aim of an experiment, apparatus you are using, and specifications as per IRC. Say for example, softening point. What is softening point of bitumen as per IRC? What is flash and fire point test? What is the flash point of bitumen as per IRC? Like that specifications, you need to focus, you need to concentrate, you need to by heart, you need to revise every now and then, otherwise you can't recollect in the exam hall. Next is in highway material and testing part, Marshall mix design method is very important, especially for the bituminous concrete mix design. We use Marshall procedure. GATE point of view, you get numerical questions to calculate VMA, voids in mineral aggregate, and voids filled by bitumen. There you need to calculate volume of air, volume of bitumen, percentage volume of air, percentage volume of bitumen, then voids in mineral aggregate. By three-phase diagram, you might have come across. This is very important for GATE exam point of view. Such a numericals may not be that important for prelims. GATE point of view, if at all 2 marks question is coming from highway material and testing, that will be from the calculation of these parts. To calculate VMA, you need to calculate VA, volume of air, percentage volume of air and percentage volume of bitumen. And before that you need to calculate theoretical specific gravity of the aggregates and theoretical specific gravity of the mix and bulk specific gravity of the mix. So those procedures, even if you remember formula and procedure and solve 4 or 5 problems before you go for the exam, you get acquainted to that. And be careful about the calculation, especially while rounding off as per the requirement. Be careful in this area because you will get lot of fractions. Next, Marshall graphs are there. All the graphs with percentage of bitumen on x-axis. 5 graphs are there. You just go through the trend of the graphs, how the trend is going up, like percentage bitumen and density, percentage bitumen Marshall stability, percentage bitumen Marshall flow value. So the 5 graphs are there. The trend you need to practice it. Important for prelims as well, mains exam. Now coming to payment design. You have flexible payment design based upon IRC 37, 2018 version you need to use it. Especially in flexible payment design, these are the main areas where you need to concentrate. The questions are very frequently coming in equivalent single wheel load. Important for GATE as well ESC exam. Recently in 2022, in GATE exam, there was a question to calculate the equivalent single wheel load. And EALF, equivalent axial load factor with the 4th power rule is very important, and this EALF is important for the calculation of vehicle damage factor. And that vehicle damage factor is important for the calculation of cumulative standard axles or million standard axles. So be careful about EALF calculation. With that you can calculate the vehicle damage factor. So with the 4th power rule, vehicle damage factor calculation through EALF is important. Don't neglect it. Rigidity factor is also another important area. Rigidity factor is equal to the contact pressure by tire pressure and various values. What happens if rigidity factor is equal to 1, ideal condition? If rigidity factor is more than 1, what happens? Less than 1, what happens? The 3 cases you have to be careful. And lane distribution factor values you need to RUT2, you need to by heart. Lane distribution factors as per IRC. Calculation of cumulative standard axles and million standard axles, very, very, very important for GATE exam point of view. That formula is there, na, 365 by R, that formula. So almost alternate years questions are coming on this area. GATE point of view, very, very, very important. Based upon the cumulative standard axles, we design the thickness of the pavement. Nobody will ask you to find out what is thickness of the pavement because we need to use the bar charts to calculate the thickness of various layers as per IRC 37. That portion is rolled out, but calculation of CSA or MSA is very important. Next is performance criteria like rutting and fatigue criteria is also required. No need to by heart the formulae for rutting and no need to calculate the cumulative standard axles for fatigue. Nobody will ask you. Those are very critical empirical formulae. Don't concentrate on that. But on what basis we add rutting, on what basis we add fatigue is important for us. Rutting is based upon the vertical compressive strain on the top of the subgrade, and fatigue is based upon the horizontal tensile strain on the bottom of the bottom bituminous layer. That points more than enough. Formulae ruled out. So GATE point of view, calculation of VDF through EALF and calculation of CSR MSA more than enough. More than enough in flexible payment design. So GATE point of view, we can fix the targets where questions are repeatedly coming, but ESC point of view, we can't do such cases. Coming to the rigid payment design, again for ESC point of view, you need to go through the specifications of IRC 58, 2015 version is the latest version, and relative stiffness, radius of relative stiffness, L value, based upon that formula, EH cube by 12K formula is there, na? That formula you have to by heart. People are giving you the variations in Young's modulus, variations in Poisson's ratio. If Poisson's ratio doubled and Young's modulus tripled, what happens to relative stiffness? That type of questions are very common nowadays for GATE as well ESE point of view. So concentrate on radius of relative stiffness. Next, wheel load. What are all standard wheel loads? Standard single axle wheel load, single wheel single axle wheel load, dual wheel single axle wheel load, tandem axle load, tridem axle load. All the wheel loads are very important for us. So try to remember the standard values given by IRC. Those are all creating the same rupture to the pavement. Next, warping stresses, frictional stresses. How to calculate warping stresses? Very important for us based upon the Bradbury empirical equations. Wheel load stresses based upon the modified Westergaard approach. Only the corner wheel load stress formula, if you remember, that is more than enough, because interior is safe, they have not given in the modified version. Edge, a big lengthy formula is given, that is not required for us. Only corner wheel load stress formula you just calculate. Warping stress, how do you calculate? Warping stresses, how those are developing. Daytime, summer, where do you get tension? Nighttime, winter, where do you get tension? Those points you have to thoroughly go through. There is a chance of theoretical based question coming on the warping stresses of rigid pavement even in GATE exam. Go through the warping stresses, try to concentrate more on the warping stresses, how the stresses are developing, how the stresses are formulating. What is the actual reason behind the warping stresses? You need to analyze to the point, and you should have full clear clarity on this warping stresses. And next is the frictional stresses. How to calculate frictional stress? And in summer it is compressive, and in winter it is tensile. What exactly happening? This is also important. But warping stresses may be slightly confusing. If you have clarity on this, automatically you will get the clarity on the frictional stresses. So next is critical stress combination. We have various cases to get the resultant stress. Warping, friction, apart from the wheel load, the combinations. Based upon different seasons, day and night times, they have given, IRC has given different specifications. Take the specifications only as per IRC. And final design is based upon the maximum of the all the critical combinations given by IRC. If you look at different books, they have given different combinations. Those are all not required. You just concentrate the main cases given in IRC. That main cases are there in your booklets also. Next is joints in rigid pavement. We have various joints like longitudinal joints along the length. You have the expansion joints and contraction joints. Go through these three type of joints. Longitudinal and expansion and contraction joints are transverse joints. At expansion joint you have gap. For the pavement to expand, we provide the expansion joint. In the middle of expansion joints you have the contraction joints. Contraction joints are useful in winter where pavement wanted to contract. To relieve the frictional stresses, we use contraction joint again. Design of dowel bars, very important for GATE exam, and tie bars also. Design of dowel bar we provide on the expansion joint. Across the expansion joint we provide a dowel bar, fixed at one end, free at the other end. Based upon the load distribution, the critical dowel bar load they may ask you. And a tie bar. Tie bars are provided across the longitudinal joint. It is fixed at both ends. Again, this is also based upon the frictional stress. So dowel bar design, tie bar design, you have to be very careful. Next is performance criteria. Rutting will not come in rigid pavement. You have only fatigue criteria. Fatigue criteria of rigid pavement is rarely asked based upon the stress ratio. Okay? Not because the formulae given there are to especially to calculate the fatigue life. Very critical formulae are there. Even if you ask me, I can't be in a position to tell you because I don't remember. Very, very critical formulae, no need to remember. That's what I mean to say. So in ESC, apart from the regular syllabus parallel to the GATE exam, you have to have extra focus on tunneling, extra focus on harbors, and little extra in airport and extra things in railway systems. So whenever you feel time, whenever you have want to relieve your stresses, go through the theory portions. So theory portions you need to spend time whenever you want to relax, whenever you are reluctant to put more concentration on the critical parts of the syllabus. If you want to just have a relax, just before sleep and just just before sleep or during slight 20-30% sleep, you can read through the theoretical parts. So this is what the preparation strategy of GATE and ESC exam. GATE point of view, you have to be very, very calculative. Read the question very carefully. If you are not reading the question carefully, there is a chance of missing the answer. They'll create the questions in such a way that people just glance through the question should go into the wrong way. So GATE point of view, read the question carefully and be careful about units, be careful about what you are substituting, be careful about what you are getting. Even in numerical answer questions, even though there is no negative marking for numerical answer questions, you have to be very careful about rounding off. If they are asking you to round off the answer with the 2 decimal places, you start rounding off from the starting point onwards. Say suppose 4 or 5 steps are there in solving a question. At each and every step, you need to round the answer to 2 decimal places if they are asking you to round the answer to 2 decimal places. Otherwise, there is a chance of discrepancy in your answer. And especially in multiple select questions of GATE exam, which are recently introduced, there may be more than one correct answer. Be careful about that questions also. Radio buttons will be there. You can select more than one correct answer there. And no negative marking. Luckily, no negative marking for multiple select questions also. But careful. However, the number of multiple select answer questions coming in GATE syllabus, especially for civil point of view, are less up to 2022. What happens in future, we can't say, we can't guess, we can't predict. But you have to mentally fix up for solving such questions also. And in multiple choice questions, be careful, there is a negative marking possible. So 1/3 of negative marking is allowed in that. Be careful to choose multiple choice question. Especially in multiple choice question, all options A, B, C, D, you just go through. And if it is a theory question, go by the process of elimination, not by process of selection. And in case of ESC prelims, be careful about specifications, be careful about simple formulae. Time management is very important for us. Especially in ESC prelims, what you need to do is, you need to go by round robin system. As it is offline paper, round robin system you need to follow. In the first round, all easy questions you need to solve them randomly. Say question number 1 you have solved, and then question number 3, question number 7. But make sure that you are transferring to OMR sheet as per the requirement. If you are answering question number 3, you need to tick it in number 3 only. Whatever you are leaving in the first round, you round off the questions with pencil. In the second round, once you solve all the questions of all the easy questions in the first round, come to second round where slightly critical questions you try to answer it. So after that, if time permits, then go to the remaining questions. And especially in ESC prelims, be careful to transfer what is the answer there, you got it to OMR sheet perfectly. here and there mismatch, it becomes a big confusion in the exam hall. If you get tension in exam hall, you get cracks in the brain in the exam hall. Some people may faint. So be careful. Why I am saying is, if you get to know about the complexities coming in exam hall, you can get ready and mentally you can set your targets in the exam hall. So this is the overall preparation strategy I have given for transportation, for ESC prelims and GATE exam. Actually, this is a live class. So in case of any doubts and all, you can just keep it in a comment. All the important things are added into the video. Just go through that. So I wish you all the best. Do well. Confidence is required, and at the same time practice is required. Practice makes everybody perfect. Not only man perfect, everybody perfect. Even if a monkey is jumping from one place to the other place, that comes with practice only. If monkey fears, it can't jump. So if a human fears for the preparation, you can't achieve the target. So for achieving target, you require confidence and courage. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Good night.
I am Nikhil Kumar Saha. I got AIR 1 in GATE Mechanical 2022. I was enrolled in ACE online test series program. So test series, whether it would be subject wise, topic wise or full length test, it helped me to improve my numerical solving skills in all the domain of the subjects that are included in mechanical. It helped me to cope up with the new numerical type of problems which normally students face difficulty in solving in first go. So it helped me to cope up with this type of numericals, and also I got to know through different multiple choice questions, multiple select questions which are now in the GATE Mechanical they have introduced. So I got very good quality questions. So it helped me in preparation a lot. I am Nikhil Kumar Saha. I got AIR 1 in GATE Mechanical 2022. I was enrolled in ACE online test series program. So test series, whether it would be subject wise, topic wise or full length test, it helped me to improve my numerical solving skills in all the domain of the subjects that are included in mechanical. It helped me to cope up with the new numerical type of problems which normally students face difficulty in solving in first go. So it helped me to cope up with this type of numericals, and also I got to know through different multiple choice questions, multiple select questions which are now in the GATE Mechanical they have introduced. So I got very good quality questions. So it helped me in preparation a lot. I am Nikhil Kumar Saha. I got AIR 1 in GATE Mechanical 2022. I was enrolled in ACE online test series program. So test series, whether it would be subject wise, topic wise or full length test, it helped me to improve my numerical solving skills in all the domain of the subjects that are included in mechanical. It helped me to cope up with the new numerical type of problems which normally students face difficulty in solving in first go. So it helped me to cope up with this type of numericals, and also I got to know through different multiple choice questions, multiple select questions which are now in the GATE Mechanical they have introduced. So I got very good quality questions. So it helped me in preparation a lot. I am Nikhil Kumar Saha. I got AIR 1 in GATE Mechanical 2022. I was enrolled in ACE online test series program. So test series, whether it would be subject wise, topic wise or full length test, it helped me to improve my numerical solving skills in all the domain of the subjects that are included in mechanical. It helped me to cope up with the new numerical type of problems which normally students face difficulty in solving in first go. So it helped me to cope up with this type of numericals, and also I got to know through different multiple choice questions, multiple select questions which are now in the GATE mechanical they have introduced. So I got very good quality questions, so it helped me in preparation a lot. I am Nikhil Kumar Saha. I got AIR 1 in GATE Mechanical 2022. I was